Hello everyone. Uh, this is the first in a series of videos that is going to be breaking down. I did this big collective Bible study on a specific topic, and I made it a readable format. If you look down, there should be a link in the description that'll take you to a free printable / digital copy of this, of what I'm reading to you. I really don't like doing like a script thing, but I'm going to read some from the book and then throw in my own little interjection. So please bear with me for that part. So part one, we're just going to go over the introduction, the disclaimer, and a little bit of some information that I use when I do a Bible study. Okay? Greetings. First and foremost, thank you for choosing to take the time to examine this material. This project is something that I feel very passionate about and has been in the works for most of my life. With that said, I feel the need to offer a warning about this material. It is not what it first appears to be. On the surface, this is simply a Bible study on the topic of love. I should disclose that I in no way claim to be a professional in this field. I'm not a minister or pastor. I've taken no studies to become a Bible scholar aside from regular Bible studies. I do not claim to speak for God, a church, or any religion. I'm simply a man with thoughts that I feel the need to share with others. Not for the sake of influencing their beliefs or converting their religion, but simply to provoke thought. I want everyone who reads this to reflect deeply into themselves and the world around them and make informed decisions for themselves. This study is not actually designed for those of the Christian faith, though I hope they do enjoy it as well. Although it is based on concepts found in the Holy Bible, this is designed to be used by anyone, even with those who have no previous experience with the Bible or the Christian faith. The very first chapter will help guide such readers as to how to properly understand this study. If you already know the mechanics of Bible study, feel free to skip chapter 1, which is what we're going to do. I'm not going to do chapter 1 in these readings. If you want that, you'll have to go look at the digital copy and read it for yourself. So you're probably asking yourself why I would put the time and effort into compiling this information and then start it off, with statements like that. For one, I'm a firm believer in honesty. I want no false conceptions on this material. I want readers to focus on the content as it is rather than the author or any hidden agendas they may possess. My intent is not anything malicious, nor even benevolent for that matter. I do openly invite any readers to contact me for intellectual discussion on the material, any genuine mistakes I may make, constructive criticism, and any ideas to further understanding in general. My intent is to make people think. If this material in any way enriches someone's life, encourages a person to live as a better self, to help anyone through a hard time, then it has served its purpose, no more, no less. One of my biggest pet peeves is people who warp the Christian faith for their own means. People who make uninformed statements and present them as facts. People who use God and His Word to promote extreme beliefs. People who misquote the Bible to sway others. So-called Sunday Christians who look down on others while not adhering to the true teachings themselves. I've been an avid reader for most of my life. I understand most of the mechanics of writing, but I also speak plainly. Being the grammar police does no good if you lose your readers for not having a human connection with them. Hopefully this will explain a lot in my writing style. I've proven to myself that I am my best self when I live through my faith. Every time I stray, bad things happen. Every time I find my way back on track, they improve. I wish for everyone to be solid in their faith. This does not mean that their will should be forced on others, but that they should find comfort and strength in their beliefs. Now you should have an idea of what's going on here. With all the formalities out of the way, I will hinder this no further. And then, of course, there's chapter 1 that tells you the how-to. And then, before we actually get into it, a few footnotes, if you will. I don't call this a book, even though it's in a book format. Because the majority of it I did not write. I just took information from here and there and put it together. There has been a rise lately in some people getting curious about the Bible and the Christian faith. And I'm using this as a jumping board for some of them, a springboard. I use different versions of the Bible in case, there's somebody trying to find out, hey, which version should I read? Which is the best? I use different ones here so you can get a taste of that. But again, that's from the Bible. That's not my words, obviously. A lot of the notes and a lot of the like backstory, like the little facts that make things make more sense. I have a handful of books and some online resources that I go to for information because, again, that's how my brain works. Is I want to know more. I want to understand as much as I can. That's all I did. Only small snippets of this are my own words. That's why it doesn't say written by or authored by. It says compiled by, because it's just a bunch of information that I put together and with my own thoughts thrown in here and there. And that's it, really. As it said in there, it's not to sway anybody. It's really what inspired this was conversations with 3 different people. More than that, but 3 specific ones that I can recall that really influenced me to write or put this together. They were all younger people, and none of them had any previous knowledge or experience of the Bible, and some of them had misconceptions. They're like, oh, well, the Bible says this, and they would rattle off something, and I'm like, no, that's nowhere in the Bible. Or they would say, this is here, like, okay, it does say that, but that's a twisted version. One of my Bible study techniques, right? Bible is big on principles, really big on principles. Principles are repeated. My general rule of thumb when it comes to a Bible study is if you read something in the Bible and you think it says something, but you're not sure, try and find a total of 3 places where it says the same thing, which is how this study is going to work, or at least the first part of it. It's not just going to come out and say, okay, this is what it says, and give one out of context explanation, because that irks me. When people take things out of context, they don't give, proper information. Just because the words are worded a certain way, they twist it, and tell people it says this. No, it doesn't. They use it to, incite some heinous stuff. And that irks me. And again, I don't think that people need to convert religions, but I do think everybody should read the Bible for themselves just to know what it says, so they know if what they hear is crap or not. That's it. That's simple. Because there is a lot of good information in there. There really is. I love doing Bible study. It has increased, a lot of beneficial things in me since I began doing it. And that's part of my testimony, like I mentioned in there. And there's a section in the back of the collection, just a page worth of a little more in detail of my own testimony, which I also won't be reading here on the video. I'm just getting after this, it's going to be all meat and potatoes. This is just the introduction, kind of get me into the swing of it, give you guys an idea of what we're doing. I'm going to try and keep these short, concise, go over the material, and just share some information, give you something to think about. I made questions that go with this, and I will include those in the videos. we're not really going to discuss them, but I'll give them to you just because I think they're a good kind of wayfinder, kind of keep you on track, point the direction, like things that people should really think more about, or at least should give more attention to. I'm going to try and keep these between 10 to 15 minutes each. We just passed the 10-minute mark for this one. I did space this out. I'm only going over like 3 pages, 4 pages at a time until we get to the back, but that's going to work differently. I need the practice, to do shorter videos. So this is going to be that, and it also gives everybody some good information. So yeah, if you're interested, if you're curious, follow along. This is obviously the first one. I'm going to do a few at a time to record these until we get to the end of the study. If you're anxious, if you don't want to wait, or if you want to follow along with something in front of you, like I said, down in the description will be a link. That's to a free digital copy that's printable. That's what this is in front of me. I printed right from that link. And made my own, flippable book out of it so I could read it here. So yeah, that's it. That was our first session. Thanks for joining me, and next time we'll get into the good stuff. See you there.